Hey guys, welcome back to the channel where we're checking out a very disturbing video. The title is The Day Brazil Was Broken, Football's Worst Defeat. Honestly, I don't know a lot about football, soccer, and let's just be real. Brazil is literally like the country that, I don't know, I think every American would be like, yo, football, soccer, Brazil. You know what I mean? So this video is kind of depressing based on the title, so we're gonna jump right into the video and find out what's going on. Thank you for watching. If you have any recommendations, leave those in the comment section down below, or preferably put that link in the pinned comment section where you can recommend videos related to sports. Once it's related to sports, I'm gonna check it out eventually, so you can click that link in the pinned comment section. It's gonna be a Google form you recommend through that, or you just leave them in the comment section and I'll check them out as soon as possible. Without further ado, let's check out this video titled The Day Brazil Was Broken, Football's Worst Defeat.
7 goals.
Seven.
An entire nation in tears. And the end of a footballing empire that once ruled the world. All of this unfolded on July 8th, 2014, that once...
Dang. These were like back to back. Okay, 1958-62 definitely has to be a back to back. 62 to 70, that's like a World Cup they didn't win was like probably 66, because basically I'm thinking this is a 4-year thing. 70 to 74, okay, damn. Oh, okay, so they had a little bit of, oh shit, so they haven't won since 2002. Oh my gosh.
Ruled the world. All of this unfolded on July 8th, 2014,
2014?
in what is now known as the most humiliating defeat in football history.
Damn.
The 2014 World Cup semi-final between Brazil and Germany.
Oh,
This
Germany.
game wasn't just a loss, it was a national tragedy. And it didn't just kill a dream, it killed a dynasty.
Really?
But here's the thing. This humiliation didn't come out of nowhere. Brazil had carried the weight of a football-mad nation for decades. They were the kings of the beautiful game. Brazil's legacy as the greatest footballing nation in the world was untouchable. They had won the World Cup 5 times. 1958, 1962, 1970, 1994 and 2002. Legends like Pelé, Romario, Ronaldo and Ronaldinho had carried the nation's dreams on their shoulders. But this time, in 2014, the stakes were even higher. Brazil was hosting the World Cup for the first time since 1950, a year that still haunted them because of the infamous Maracanazo loss to Uruguay in the final. This was their chance to erase the pain of the past and reclaim glory on home soil.
No.
The 2014 squad, led by Neymar, seemed destined to succeed. But then, disaster struck. Neymar, their brightest star, fractured his vertebra in the quarter-final against Colombia, ruling him out of the semi-final. To make matters worse, Captain Thiago Silva was suspended. The nation still believed, but cracks were forming. And on that fateful night in Belo Horizonte, their crown was shattered into a million pieces.
Damn.
And as Brazil limped into the semi-final, their opponents, Germany, were approaching the game from a completely different place, a team that had been ruthless, precise and dominant from the very start of the tournament. Brazil's journey had been anything but smooth. They topped their group, but their performances were far from convincing. A tense penalty shootout win against Chile and a bruising victory over Colombia brought them to the semi-final. Germany, on the other hand, were a machine. They crushed Portugal 4-0, survived a thrilling draw against Ghana, and edged past the USA to win their group.
Wow.
In the knockouts, they outlasted Algeria in extra time and silenced France with a clinical 1-0 win. The stage was set. The atmosphere in Estadio Mineral was electric. Over 70,000 fans packed the stadium, waving their green and yellow flags, chanting for the Selecao. But no one could have predicted what was about to unfold. When the match kicked off, Brazil came out like a team possessed. They pressed high, pushed forward, and pinned Germany in their own half. In the first minute, Fernandinho's relentless effort won a corner, setting the tone for what the fans hoped would be a magical night. Just 2 minutes later, Marcelo found a pocket of space on the left flank, cut inside, and fired a low shot from outside the box which went just wide of the post. For those first few minutes, Germany seemed rattled, unable to break out of their defensive shape. And then it happened. In the 11th minute, Germany won a corner. Toni Kroos floated the ball into the box and there, Completely unmarked was Thomas Müller. He had time, space and the composure to volley the ball past Julio Cesar.
And Germany lead Müller. Thomas Müller from the corner puts Germany in front.
1-0 Germany. The Brazilian crowd fell silent for the first time that night. This wasn't supposed to happen. But as shocking as that goal was, no one could have imagined what was coming next. The Brazilian crowd tried to rally their team after Müller's early goal. The chants got louder, the flags waved harder, and for a brief moment, there was hope. This is Brazil, they will come back. But that hope didn't last long. In the 23rd minute, Germany struck again. It was a quick passing move that sliced through Brazil's midfield. Miroslav Klose received the ball in the box, took a shot that was saved, but reacted quickest to bury the rebound.
Müller, Klose, brilliant save, Klose scores! Historic goal! Germany 2, Brazil 0.
2-0. And with this goal, Klose made history. It was his 16th World Cup goal, making him the all-time leading scorer in World Cup history, surpassing Brazil's own legend Ronaldo. For the Brazilian fans, the heartbreak was doubled. It wasn't just a goal. It was a record broken at their expense.
I can feel chills in my spine, bro. And I like, man. Oh my gosh,
Fans
bro.
in the stands began looking at each other in disbelief. But Germany wasn't done. Barely a minute later, in the 24th minute, Brazil's defence collapsed entirely. Toni Kroos pounced on a loose ball outside the box and smashed it into the net to make it 3.
Müller through, Müller could be embarrassing, it's 3. Toni Kroos.
The Brazilian players were shell-shocked. But before they could even regroup, in the 26th minute, disaster struck again. A catastrophic mistake in midfield left Brazil completely exposed. Kroos and Sami Khedira exchanged passes like it was a training drill, slicing through the defence with ease. Kroos, calm as ever, tapped the ball into the net for his second goal of the game.
It's turned square closer. It's 4-0 to Germany.
The Estadio Mineral, packed with over 70,000 fans, was now a theatre of despair. People were crying, heads were in their hands, and some began leaving their seats. But the nightmare wasn't over. Just 3 minutes later, in the 29th minute, Sami Khedira added Germany's 5th goal.
Khedira, 5-0. 5-0.
It was too easy. Germany passed their way through a helpless Brazilian defence, and Khedira calmly finished. In just 30 minutes, Germany had destroyed Brazil's World Cup dream. The chants, the cheers, the pride, it all disappeared, replaced by stunned silence and tears. The players on the pitch looked broken, standing still as Germany celebrated their complete domination. The first half wasn't even over, but the empire Brazil had built over decades was already in ruins. As the whistle blew for halftime, the scoreline read Germany 5 Brazil 0. The Brazilian players walked off the pitch with their heads down, their faces marked with disbelief and despair. But what the world didn't know was that Germany made a conscious decision at this point, not to push harder, but to ease off. German centre-back Mats Hummels later revealed that the team discussed how to approach the second half with respect. "We just made it clear that we had to stay focused and not try to humiliate them," Hummels said. "We said we had to stay serious and concentrate at half-time. It was important we played our game for 90 minutes. The second half began, and there was more pain incoming for the Brazilians. 69th minute. Philippe Lahm, Germany's captain, made a clever run down the right wing. He cut the ball back into the box, where Andre Schürrle, fresh off the bench, was waiting. With a simple tap-in, Schürrle made it 6-0.
For 6, and Andre Schürrle.
By now, the stadium was almost silent, except for the small group of German fans celebrating in the corner. For Brazil, this goal marked something painful. They had just equalled their biggest ever defeat. Andre Schürrle struck again in the 79th minute, and this time, it was a moment of brilliance. Mesut Ozil found him with a precise pass on the left. From a tight angle, he unleashed a powerful shot that rattled the inside of the post and went in.
It's 7!
7-0 Germany. This goal made history. Brazil had now suffered their worst defeat ever, and there were still minutes left to play. The German players celebrated quietly, fully aware of the devastation they had caused. In the 90th minute, Brazil finally found the back of the net. But the damage had already been done.
Oh,
The scoreboard read 7-1, but there was no
jeez.
cheer, no celebration. Even the goal scorer, Oscar, looked dejected as he jogged back to the centre circle. When the referee blew the final whistle, the nightmare was finally over.
Damn,
For a team
bro.
that hadn't lost a competitive home game since 1975 with 62 match unbeaten, this loss was just catastrophic. The Brazilian players fell to the ground, some staring blankly, others breaking into tears. David Luiz, who had been tasked with leading the team in Thiago Silva's absence, apologised to the nation in his post-match interview.
Desculpa a todo mundo. Desculpa a todos os brasileiros. Só queria ver meu povo sorrindo.
I just wanted to bring happiness to my people, he sobbed. The fans in the stands were devastated. Many had left early, unable to watch the full 90 minutes. Those who stayed either cried or sat in stunned silence, struggling to process what they had just witnessed. Germany's performance in this match didn't just secure their place in the final, it rewrote history in ways no one would have imagined.
Did they
7-1,
win?
the largest margin of victory ever in a World Cup semi-final.
Wow.
No team had been dismantled like this at this stage.
Wait, was this the year they played Messi? Because I remember Messi went up against Germany and Germany won. Holy moly, I remember that. Oh, this is the year. Wait, there's no way this is the year. Wait, what?
For Brazil, it wasn't just a defeat. It became their worst loss in history, surpassing a 6-0 defeat from 1920.
Damn,
Germany's
bro.
attack was relentless. Between the 23rd and 29th minutes, they scored 4 goals, setting the record for the fastest 4 goals in World Cup history. By the 29th, they had added a 5th, breaking another record for the fastest 5 goals ever scored. At halftime, the score was 5-0, Germany's largest halftime lead in World Cup history. By the end, their 7 goals made them the highest scoring team in World Cup history,
Shit.
overtaking Brazil with 223 goals.
Wow.
For Brazil, the records were devastating. This was the most goals ever conceded by a host nation in a World Cup and marked the end of their 62-match unbeaten streak at home, a run that had lasted nearly 40 years. The 7-1 wasn't just a loss, it was a national tragedy for Brazil. On their own soil, in front of their own fans, they had suffered their worst defeat ever. For a team with 5 World Cup titles and decades of dominance, it was the death of a dynasty.
Damn, bro. Literally, I've not heard anything from Brazil in a minute, dude. Like, wow, this was tough. Germany really did them. Wow, this. Damn, I feel so bad for them. Like, I feel the pain in my back. It's just like chills on chills. Like, damn, bro, that was a annihilation, straight up, no questions asked. This was brutal, but hey, it's just the game of the sport, man. It's the sport of the game of the sport. You just got to play the game, and whatever happens, happens. It's an unfortunate situation. What Brazil actually has is that this happened because their captain was ejected, and their star, Neymar, was also injured. So that's something that, shrinkens this a lot, right? And I genuinely don't think the Germans actually take this as a victory parade, because at the end of the day, they knew they were playing a infected team, if that makes any sense, right? Defect, right? They weren't at full strength, so you can't really act as if, oh yeah, it was anything super crazy for the Germans, but at the same time, the Brazilians can't really, look at it as something that is overly, negative, because you were literally, you were down your star player and your captain. So, I personally, think this is just an unfortunate situation. But thank you guys for watching this video. Let me know your thoughts and feedback about it. And yeah, will Brazil ever recover? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching. I'm out of here.